Have you ever laid awake at 2 in the morning, staring at the ceiling and wondering why sleep feels more elusive with each passing year? You're not alone. Many people in their 70s, or even late 60s, discover that what once lulled them to sleep no longer works. Part of this change is biological. With age, our natural sleep-wake rhythms can shift, and sometimes it takes a bit more intention to get the quality rest our bodies deserve. Yet there's good news. Small adjustments to your evening routine can lead to surprisingly big improvements in how well and how long you sleep. Today, we'll look at how choosing the right foods before bedtime can make all the difference. It's easy to brush off poor sleep as just part of aging, but deep down, most of us sense that there's more we can do. When you miss out on restful sleep, it's not just about feeling groggy the next morning. It can affect everything from your mood and memory to your overall health. Many older adults find their evenings filled with tension and their nights with restlessness, creating a cycle that impacts daytime energy and even long-term well-being. Why focus on foods at all? Because these are gentle, natural shifts, simple dietary tweaks that don't usually require medication or major lifestyle overhauls. And yet, despite being small, they can be powerful tools in improving how our bodies unwind at night. If you've ever thought, "I've tried everything," you might be surprised to learn how new research is shedding light on the role of certain nutrients, vitamins, and minerals in promoting better rest. As a holistic wellness coach, I've guided many seniors through the process of discovering little-known ways to support their sleep. It's not about miracle cures or lofty promises. It's about practical steps that real people have used to feel better. And since sleep is often the foundation for so many aspects of health, immune function, heart health, emotional balance, and even independence, learning how to improve it can enhance your quality of life in countless ways. Today, you'll discover 4 specific foods you can eat in the evening that may help you drift off more quickly and stay asleep longer. Each of these is relatively affordable and easy to find. Plus, there are multiple ways to enjoy them, even if you have dietary restrictions. Best of all, these foods are delicious enough that you might not even think of them as health remedies. You'll also hear about seniors who've tested these tips in real-life scenarios, people who, like you, wanted better rest without jumping to extra medication. By the end of our time together, I hope to leave you feeling encouraged and empowered with the knowledge that your later years don't have to be synonymous with poor sleep. Before we delve into specific bedtime foods, it helps to recognize some common myths that hold us back. Many folks assume they should skip eating entirely after 6 p.m. Others believe only warm milk can help. Some think what they eat doesn't matter as long as they keep it light. Through stories and research-backed insights, I'll show you a fresh perspective that might nudge you to try something new. And I invite you to stay engaged. Feel free to mentally note which foods sound appealing and how you might easily work them into your evening routine. After all, the best health strategies are the ones you'll actually enjoy following for the long haul. Have you ever heard that eating before bed is always a bad idea? It's a common notion, especially for those of us who grew up being told to keep the night's food free. But what if that advice is too simplistic, especially for older adults with unique nutritional needs? Let's explore what truly works, starting with a food that might surprise you. The first bedtime-friendly food is the humble banana. For decades, bananas have been deemed little more than a quick source of energy. But if you've been told to avoid them at night because of their carbs, you're not alone. Many seniors assume carbs right before bed will keep them awake or spike their blood sugar. That assumption can be misguided, especially when we look at bananas in the context of improved rest. Rather than being the villain, bananas can be a valuable ally because of their combination of minerals like magnesium and potassium, both known to help muscles relax. Doris, 76, is someone who swore off eating anything at all after 7 p.m. because she'd read in a magazine that it was the secret to staying slim. She found that while her weight stayed consistent, her sleep quality plummeted. She'd often lie awake with restless legs or wake up with foot cramps. Eventually, her grandson, who's studying nutrition, suggested she try half a banana about an hour before bed. She hesitated at first, worried about sugar content, but within a few weeks, Doris noticed a difference. Fewer nighttime cramps and a more settled feeling as she drifted off. What's going on here? Bananas supply potassium and magnesium, minerals that help your muscles release tension. In older adults, inadequate magnesium intake can contribute to restlessness and poor sleep. Bananas also contain a decent amount of tryptophan, an amino acid linked to the production of serotonin and melatonin, two chemicals associated with sleep regulation. By combining these elements in one convenient package, bananas can serve as a gentle nudge toward relaxation. If you want to try incorporating bananas, you don't necessarily have to eat a whole piece of fruit straight up if that feels heavy on your stomach. You could slice half a banana into a small bowl of yogurt or blend it into a mild smoothie using almond milk, checking with your healthcare provider if you're watching your potassium levels due to certain heart or kidney conditions. The idea isn't to feast, but rather to offer your body calming nutrients in a way that feels satisfying rather than restrictive. It's also okay to experiment with the timing. Some people eat their banana 30 minutes before bed. Others find an hour works better. Listen to how your body responds. Beyond the physical payoff, fewer cramps, easier relaxation, there's an emotional component too. Doris noticed that having a specific health-focused bedtime snack gave her a sense of control over her nights. Instead of passively enduring another potentially sleepless evening, she took an action that signaled to her mind and body that it was time to wind down. This act of self-care, subtle as it might be, can instill hope that you're not stuck in a loop of restlessness. You might be thinking, but bananas are sweet. Won't that sugar keep me up? In most cases, the natural sugars are balanced by the fiber content and the relaxing minerals, preventing the kind of sharp blood sugar fluctuations that come from refined sweets. Of course, everyone is different. If you have diabetes or are on specific medications, it's wise to monitor how your body reacts. The goal is steady energy, not a sugar high, and for many people, a small portion of banana helps more than it hurts. If you're already intrigued, take a moment to think. Do you have bananas at home? How could you weave one into your evening routine? You might find this simple addition to be surprisingly effective. Now that we've challenged the notion that all carbs before bed are off limits, let's explore another food that has a reputation for being a breakfast-only staple, but can actually help set you up for better rest. Oatmeal is often seen as a hearty morning meal that sticks to your ribs and fuels you for the day. So suggesting it as a bedtime snack can feel counterintuitive. Many seniors believe that because oatmeal is associated with energy in the morning, it might be too heavy or stimulating late at night. But there's a fascinating side to oats that can promote calmness and make it easier for you to drift into a peaceful slumber. You might relate to Roger, 80, who had been a religious oatmeal eater at dawn for most of his life. When his doctor suggested he consume something mildly starchy at night to support better sleep, Roger laughed it off at first. He thought it made zero sense. In his mind, oatmeal was strictly a breakfast food. Yet his doctor pointed out that oats are rich in complex carbohydrates, which can gently increase serotonin production, helpful for sleep. Roger decided to give it a try. At first, it felt strange to prepare a small bowl of oatmeal at 8 p.m., but over a couple of weeks, he found it soothed him, especially when he added a sprinkle of cinnamon and a few sliced almonds. To his surprise, he started falling asleep faster, feeling cozier, and even experiencing fewer middle-of-the-night wake-ups. One reason oatmeal can be beneficial at night is its complex carbs, which encourage the body to produce more serotonin. Serotonin is that feel-good hormone that also helps regulate your body's internal clock. In older age, our hormone levels, including melatonin and serotonin, can fluctuate in ways that disrupt sleep. By enjoying a light portion of oats, perhaps just half a cup of cooked oatmeal, you may gently support these pathways. Additionally, oats contain vitamins like B6, which plays a role in synthesizing neurotransmitters related to mood and rest. Of course, you don't want a giant bowl of oatmeal right before bed if that feels too filling. The key is moderation. A small serving might be all you need to experience its calming effect. If you're concerned about glucose spikes, choose steel-cut or old-fashioned rolled oats rather than instant oats. These less processed varieties have a lower glycemic impact, especially when paired with protein or healthy fat, like a spoonful of nut butter. On an emotional level, people often find that a warm, soothing bowl of oatmeal at night feels nurturing, almost like a ritual signaling it's time to wind down. This is particularly valuable if you deal with nighttime anxiety or find it challenging to shift from daytime activities to rest mode. Coupling this mini meal with a moment of mindfulness, taking slow, deliberate bites, perhaps with calming music in the background, can further enhance the relaxation response. You might still feel hesitant. After all, it's a departure from the norm to enjoy oatmeal after sundown, but consider trying it once or twice and see how your body reacts. If it doesn't sit well with you, there's no harm done. But if it does, you could uncover a comforting habit that makes bedtime feel more inviting. And if you're on any medication that affects your digestion or glucose levels, a quick chat with your healthcare provider can ensure this option aligns well with your overall plan. By now, you may be noticing a pattern. Some of our old assumptions about food timing may not hold up, especially for seniors who need a little extra nutritional support. I'm curious, does this idea of a warming, calming snack before bed appeal to you? Or does it clash with beliefs you've held for decades? Exploring these questions can open the door to new possibilities. And keep in mind, adapting your habits to your current stage of life is not a sign of weakness or inconsistency. It's a sign of wisdom. Let's keep that open-mindedness going as we move on to our next food, which also challenges a common senior misconception. Before we continue, I invite you to reflect. Have you already tried small dietary changes at night to improve sleep? If you have, what worked and what didn't? Sometimes reintroducing a food with a new approach can yield better results. If you haven't tried anything yet, consider which of these options feels most doable for you. There's no rush. Small steps can lead to big changes. Moving on to the next item, we arrive at almonds, a food many people think of as just a snack for midday hunger pangs or an add-on to trail mix. But almonds and nuts in general can play an interesting role in bedtime nutrition. The misconception here is that their fat content might make them too heavy, or that they're only good for boosting energy levels during the day. Yet almonds carry specific nutrients that have been linked to improved rest and relaxation, particularly in older adults. Let's consider Marion, 77, who found herself waking up around 3 a.m. almost every night. She felt anxious, her heart sometimes racing, and she just couldn't get back to sleep. She experimented with herbal teas, reading before bed, even essential oils, but nothing seemed to stick. It wasn't until she read a short article about magnesium that she began to wonder if her diet was lacking. Knowing that almonds are a potent source of magnesium, she decided to try a small handful in the evening, along with a warm beverage. It wasn't an overnight fix, no pun intended, but within a few weeks she noticed her 3 a.m. wake-ups became less frequent, and when she did wake, she felt calmer, more able to drift back to sleep. So why almonds? First, there's the magnesium factor. Magnesium is crucial for muscle relaxation and can help reduce the stress hormone cortisol. High cortisol levels at night can be a hidden culprit behind insomnia or anxious sleep. Almonds also contain healthy fats that stabilize blood sugar. When your blood sugar crashes in the middle of the night, it can trigger stress hormones that wake you up. By having a small serving, say 10 to 15 almonds, you may maintain a more stable blood sugar level, reducing the likelihood of sudden wakefulness. It's important, of course, to be mindful of portion sizes. Nuts are calorie-dense, so you don't need a large amount. The goal is not to stuff yourself, but to provide your body with a gentle supply of nutrients that facilitate rest. Also, if you have difficulty chewing harder foods or are concerned about dentures, you can look for slivered almonds or almond butter as an alternative. Just watch out for added sugars in commercial nut spreads. Alongside the physical benefits, there's an emotional angle to consider. Many seniors feel that disruptions to sleep are out of their control. Trying a purposeful snack like almonds can renew a sense of agency. It's a simple change that can make you feel proactive. Rather than surrendering to the idea that waking up at odd hours is inevitable, you're giving yourself a nourishing routine that signals safety and calm to your body and mind. If you're skeptical, that's understandable. It may sound too easy. A handful of nuts before bed will solve my sleep issues? Realistically, it's not a magic bullet, but it can be part of a broader strategy. Sleep hygiene includes consistent bedtimes, limited screen exposure, and managing stress. However, for some seniors, adding almonds is the missing piece that ties these other efforts together. If you deal with allergies or find almonds difficult to tolerate, other nuts like walnuts or seeds like pumpkin seeds might offer similar benefits. One cautionary note: if you take medications for high blood pressure or cardiovascular issues, check with your healthcare provider about your sodium intake, especially if you buy salted almonds. Opting for unsalted or lightly salted varieties can help you maintain a good balance. Now let's pause again for a moment of reflection. Do you recall a time when a simple dietary tweak made a difference in how you felt? Whether it was energy levels, joint comfort, or something else? Those experiences are powerful reminders that the body often responds to small changes more than we realize. Could almonds or similar foods be the next experiment in your personal journey toward better sleep? As we move on to our final food recommendation, keep in mind that none of these strategies are meant to be rigid rules. Instead, think of them as tools in your wellness toolbox. The more tools you have, the more options you can reach for when challenges arise. Finally, let's talk about cottage cheese, another unsuspecting bedtime ally. Many of us grew up seeing cottage cheese as a diet food, a sad scoop on a plate alongside half a grapefruit, meant for shedding pounds. This association has led to a collective misconception that cottage cheese is plain, uninteresting, and strictly for those watching their waistlines. But cottage cheese has a hidden secret for seniors seeking better rest: a balance of protein and the amino acid tryptophan, which can support sustained melatonin production through the night. Philip, 74, used to struggle with nighttime hunger. He'd eat dinner around 6 p.m., go through his usual routine, and by 10 or 11, he'd feel peckish again. If he ignored the hunger, he'd lie awake. If he indulged in something sugary, he'd spike his energy and interrupt his sleep. One day, a friend mentioned that cottage cheese with a drizzle of honey was her late-night staple. Skeptical but intrigued, Philip decided to give it a shot. He liked that it was easy to prepare, just a spoonful or two in a small dish, so he wouldn't feel overfull. Within a couple of weeks, Philip noticed a newfound ability to stay asleep longer. He'd wake up feeling more rested because he wasn't battling that middle-of-the-night hunger. From a nutritional standpoint, cottage cheese offers a slow-digesting form of protein called casein. This slow release of protein can help keep you satisfied without causing sharp blood sugar spikes. At the same time, the tryptophan in cottage cheese can be converted into serotonin and melatonin, which are crucial for maintaining a healthy sleep cycle. Many seniors lack sufficient protein in general, and a modest addition like cottage cheese before bed can help fill in those nutritional gaps without being too heavy. While plain cottage cheese might be less appealing to some, there are ways to liven it up. You could add a few slices of fresh fruit, like peaches or blueberries. If you're inclined towards savory flavors, sprinkle a bit of black pepper or herbs on top. Just be mindful of sodium content, especially if you're on a low-salt diet. Look for low-sodium varieties or check with your healthcare professional if you have specific dietary restrictions. Emotionally, adding cottage cheese to your nighttime routine can feel comforting, like you're gently satisfying your body's needs. It removes the guesswork around what to eat when you're peckish late in the evening, helping you avoid random snacks that might disrupt your sleep more than you realize. For some seniors, being intentional with an evening snack like cottage cheese also reduces the temptation for less beneficial foods, such as sugary treats that might spike energy levels at the worst possible time. Of course, we all have different palates, and if you absolutely dislike cottage cheese, consider alternatives with similar nutritional profiles, like Greek yogurt. The key idea is to prioritize a balanced source of protein and tryptophan. Just remember to keep portions moderate so you don't feel overly full. And as with all the suggestions, pay attention to how your body responds over a week or two, rather than just a single night. At this point, you've heard about 4 distinct foods: bananas, oatmeal, almonds, and cottage cheese, that each target sleep quality through different nutritional pathways. Maybe one of them seems especially doable for you, or perhaps you're curious to test them all over the next month, one at a time, to see which yields the best result. Before we wrap up, I'd like to remind you that these are not one-size-fits-all solutions. If you have specific health conditions, especially those requiring special diets, it's wise to consult a nutritionist or your doctor to make sure adding these snacks won't conflict with any medication or treatment plan you're on. Let's take one more moment for engagement. Which of these foods piqued your interest the most? Can you see yourself preparing a small portion of oatmeal or cottage cheese tonight? If you're still not sure, consider picking the one that feels easiest. Often, the path of least resistance is the best way to form a new habit. It's remarkable how something as simple as a modest snack can have far-reaching benefits for seniors. By addressing that nightly hunger pang or providing key nutrients, you may not only improve your ability to fall asleep, but also enhance the quality of the hours you spend resting. Better sleep translates to sharper cognition, improved mood, and a greater sense of well-being during the day. That, in turn, can keep you active, social, and engaged in the activities you love. Now let's gather everything we've discussed, highlight the most important lessons, and talk about how you can get started tonight. Quality sleep is not an unattainable luxury reserved for younger folks or those without health challenges. It's a fundamental pillar of well-being at any age, and perhaps especially for those in their 70s and beyond. We've explored 4 foods that might become valuable additions to your nightly routine: bananas, oatmeal, almonds, and cottage cheese. Each one has its own way of easing you into a more restful night. Bananas for their muscle-relaxing minerals and tryptophan, oatmeal for its serotonin-boosting complex carbs, almonds for stable blood sugar and magnesium, and cottage cheese for slow-digesting protein and enhanced melatonin production. If you think about it, these foods aren't complicated or expensive. Most are staples you can find in any grocery store, and they don't require elaborate recipes. That simplicity is part of their power. Often, the easiest habits to maintain are the ones that fit seamlessly into your lifestyle. All it takes is a small measure of curiosity and willingness to experiment. If you've been struggling with sleep for a long time, it's easy to slip into despair or assume there's no solution. But these steps offer hope. Hope that with minor, consistent changes, you can tip the balance back in favor of restful nights. There is some urgency here, though, without resorting to fear. Sleep quality directly impacts how you feel physically and emotionally the next day. It influences your ability to stay active, keep up with friends and family, and even manage chronic conditions more effectively. If your sleep has been on the decline, waiting another 6 months or a year to act might mean missing out on experiences you cherish. So consider giving at least one of these bedtime foods a try, maybe tonight. Watch how your body responds, and keep notes if that helps you notice patterns. For those who want to dip a toe in the water, try half a banana or a small portion of cottage cheese about an hour before bed. For those ready to commit more fully, plan out your evening snack schedule for the week. Maybe alternate between oatmeal, almonds, and the other options. See which one feels best. If you're really excited and want to take it a step further, share the journey with a friend or family member. Ask them to try it with you and compare experiences. That sense of community and accountability can make small changes far more enjoyable and easier to sustain. Remember that while these foods have helped many seniors, they're just one piece of the bigger sleep puzzle. Consistent bedtime routines, controlling screen time in the evenings, staying active during the day, and managing stress all play vital roles. And if you suspect an underlying medical condition, like sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, or medication side effects, make sure to talk to a qualified healthcare professional. Think of your sleep improvement journey as weaving a tapestry. Each thread adds strength and beauty, and the end result is something that can significantly elevate your overall quality of life. No matter which path you choose, know that you hold more power over your sleep than you might have once believed. These later years in life are often marked by wisdom gained from experiences, both good and challenging. Channel that wisdom now in shaping your nightly routine. You've earned the right to a restful night, and you have options at your disposal. May this information serve as a catalyst for a positive shift in how you wind down each evening, so that you wake up feeling a bit more energetic, a bit more hopeful, and ready to embrace the day on your own terms. As you conclude this video, I encourage you to do one of 3 things depending on your comfort level. First, if you're feeling cautious, simply try one of these bedtime foods tonight. Nothing too formal. Second, if you're moderately interested, plan out an entire week of bedtime snacks and notice the differences in your sleep. Third, if you're fully committed, consider keeping a journal where you record your evening snack, bedtime, and how you slept. Over time, this data can help you refine what works best. If this message resonates with you, share it with a fellow senior who could also benefit from better sleep. And be sure to subscribe or follow for more holistic wellness insights designed for your stage of life. You deserve nights filled with restful dreams and mornings filled with renewed energy. Let's step into that possibility together, embracing each new evening as a chance to nurture our bodies, calm our minds, and awaken to brighter days.